Welcome to Kirby Comics. We're here in Hanover, PA, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to introduce you to my store, Kirby Comics. I'm the owner, Matt Madrigal, and I want to give you a tour. We try to keep a little bit of something for everybody here at Kirby Comics. We try to keep affordable deals and comics so that anybody can come in and find something at an affordable level. We have our special year-long buy one get one free trade paperback sale. We always rotate the stock. We always try to put as many new titles as we can. They are not the newest titles. Most are a couple years old, but that's fine. That's the great part of trade paperbacks. They can be from any era, and they're perfect for reading complete storylines. If you've never read a comic before, I highly recommend a trade paperback or two with our buy one get one sale. As we come further into the store, we can see our variant specials, which are very big with the collectors. That's a big percentage of our audience, of our customer base. Collectors, speculators. Comic books are art. They are prints. A lot of times they're bought for the artwork on the cover, and that's what variant covers are. They're one book but can have up to 20 or 30 different covers. For example, this Berserker #1, which I highly recommend. It's a character created by Keanu Reeves. He was a comic book reader, collector as a child, and always wanted to have his own character. He created this character, and it is, in 30 years, the highest selling comic book of any company. That's Boom Studios. And I'm very proud to be an official Boom Studios retailer. We are very proud of Boom Studios. They offer a very diverse selection of titles for any age group, not just an adult R-rated action book like Berserker. We have there's a Jonah, there's a Spectre Inspectors, there's Buffy, Orcs, good for all ages. Seven Secrets, definitely a younger teen book. So Boom Studios is proving they can be diverse by having different titles. You don't have to make it all ages for every title, just some. So I highly recommend Berserker, which has many variant covers, many printings. This, I believe, is the 4th foil printing. It is priced, but some of these, like issue 2 second printing, is part of our package, which is 4 for $30. So if you come in and buy them individually, $10 a piece. And we don't sell these online on our website, but if you go to KirbyComicStore.com, we have many packages with variants, with full sets of variants. But if you want to purchase individual variants, you must come to the store in person. We have our new Omnibus case, which has some of the longest running storylines in one book. 1,000 pages is the average page count of an omnibus, and while they are pricey, most at $125 a piece, in my opinion, they're the best way to collect a full series. These are considered some of the best way to read and collect comics. The value is there, although they are expensive. If you consider all the books that are in the one omnibus, the value is there. You see the great Tom Scioli, the epic life of the King of Comics. That is the King Kirby, Jack Kirby biography. It is the first of its kind in graphic novel form that I'm aware of. Very proud to carry it. It first came out last July. Sold many copies. We're a little low right now. I have to order more, but we should have more very soon. It's my favorite book currently. The great Tom Scioli did a tremendous job on the biography of the king. We also have a Kirby War and Romance, a Marvel Omnibus, highly recommended. That is the War variant cover. The other cover has sold out. It was the Romance cover. But if you like Kirby Romance, we have the Kirby Simon Romance book, which is on our website, kirbycomicstore.com. We will take a tour as we go to the back, where we will read our first book, Commandy, The Last Boy on Earth, issue 1. What I like to show new readers, people who have never been in a comic store, have never read before, these are the independent companies. You have Image, you have Boom Comics, like we talked about. You have IDW, you have Aftershock, you have Vault. These are some of the best, most well-written stories today. You have Monstrous, which is, in my opinion, the greatest ongoing series today. The great Marjorie Liu and Santa Takeda, they, in my opinion, they provide the best storytelling that is currently going today. For fans of Japanese manga and anime, I would recommend this book, as Santa Takeda is a native of Japan. So obviously, her art style is of that style, the classical style, Japanese style, not anime necessarily, but very detailed, highly detailed, but done in a way that makes her different. You don't see this style done by anyone, in my opinion. And the storyline is excellent. It's definitely an R-rated book. I would not recommend it for under 16. It is definitely an R-rated book. But that's something that people, it's a general misconception about comics today. They think that they're for kids or about superheroes. Those days are long gone. The number one, the average age of a comic book reader is probably 30 and up. Most kids today, unfortunately, do not want to read comics, even though, we try our best here to get kids involved in any way that we can. But the sad truth is, video games have taken a lot of young readers. So we sell adult R-rated comics to adults, as you would a movie or any other form of entertainment. But I can always get behind all of these books because I read them personally, every new book that comes in here. Very time-consuming and some painful, but others a joy, and Monstrous is one of them. Noctera, another very good book, Scott Snyder. Hellboy, always one of my favorites. The Great Mike Mignola, going on 26 years now. Something Killing the Children by James Tynion IV. We have some more mature titles up top. Savage Dragon by the great Eric Larson, who inspired by Kirby, definitely. His artistic style, definitely Kirby inspired, which is a joy to read. His is the second longest ongoing title independently after Spawn. Once Spawn hit 300, 301 to be exact, I broke the record for the longest running independent comic. And Eric Larson is, I believe, the only artist remaining with Todd McFarlane, the founder of Image Comics in 1992, who stayed with Todd through thick and thin. While everyone else, like Rob Liefeld, went back to Marvel and did the horrible Heroes Reborn, which we won't talk about, or the new Heroes Reborn. We also have my favorite Conan, which is the Cimmerian. This is a very unusual Conan title in that it is not Marvel. It is not, they're not allowed to use Conan on the title. They have to call it the Cimmerian, as they do not have the license by the Howard family, the Howard estate, that Marvel does to publish Conan comics. But it is so old. Robert Howard created them during the age of the pulps. It is now public domain, his stories. Therefore, Blaze Comics is able to get away with doing Conan, just not called Conan. But in my opinion, these are much superior to Marvel's current Conan, much more adult, definitely R-rated. Some of the best Conan you're going to read. Coming from a Conan fan, that's high praise. If you ever want Conan vintage, I would then show you some of the trade paperbacks we have, the older Marvel Conan or Savage Sword of Conan, just definitely an R-rated book back in the 70s and 80s, which I highly recommend. As we go and look at some of Marvel's other titles on the wall, again, these are all new titles. These come in every week. We get hundreds of books a month, always changing. So don't be intimidated when you first come in here to see all of this. I can give you recommendations, or I can show you trade paperbacks. I can show you a number of different things. Don't be intimidated by all the different titles. If you like Aliens, Marvel's doing Aliens now. If you're a Black Panther fan, there's many Black Panther books right now. This is the last issue of this current series, but it has these. I love these variant covers. These are the fine art variants, which I've always advocated. Comic art is fine art, and finally, the prices of original art for comic books is more than fine art itself, which I'm very happy to see. I'm an advocate of comic art being considered fine art, and I think we've reached that. I think Frazetta, the great Frank Frazetta, is the first to really achieve that with his paintings. Death Dealer was the first I ever saw as a child. In second grade, my art teacher showed me Death Dealer, and that definitely affected me. I had no idea what that was, but I knew I wanted to see more. And his work transported me to another world, a fantasy world. While it was dark, it was definitely totally different than the world I was living in, and that definitely inspired me. Frazetta always inspired me. We look at some of the other Marvel titles that are popular. Spider-Man, many Spider-Man titles if you're a Spider-Man fan. My personal favorite Marvel title right now, by Daniel Johnson, one of my favorites, Beta Ray Bill. This book is perfect in every way. Highly recommended. We sold out of the regular cover, but we do have variant covers of #1, and we still have a set of the variant covers of #1, so that won't be a problem. We can get you started on that series. Donny Cates' Thor, excellent series, highly recommended. And we can get you all the variants or second printings, fourth printings up to complete a Thor run up to current day if you're inclined. King in Black series, very good, just ended. A lot of issues tie-in, and like I try to tell everybody, you don't need to buy all the tie-ins. King in Black, all of these Marvel series, you can just read 1 through 5 and know the whole story. You don't need to buy all these, but most people, they have to buy all the tie-ins, which is fine if that's what you're so inclined to do. Venom, unfortunately ending. It was the #1 seller for a very long time for us here. Everyone loved Donny Cates' version of Venom. I loved the Venom Beyond. To me, that was a perfect storyline. It was sad to see it end so early. I believe they ended it quick because of King in Black. It was kind of a lead-in or a break, but in my opinion, a superior story to King in Black. You have Black Cat, very good seller, always, second series. Immortal Hulk, this was one of the best series for a very long time by the great Al Ewing. You have number of one-shots that are always great. This Time of Monsters shows the first ever Hulk BC. Excellent story. You see the Green Door, Maestro, one of my favorite storylines. The great Peter David, who I always say I wish was running Marvel right now, because he is one of the old school writers that is aware of the past. A great creator, an advocate for the vintage storylines, tying in his storylines with the current storylines. He is just a great writer, and I wish Marvel would put him in a position of authority, as I think it would definitely improve their product. So we have many back issues, as you can see. You can go back to some of these, and get months of back issues. And again, these are all cover priced. Most stores, once they bag and board a book, they charge at least $1 extra and they put them in their back issue bins. We don't. Here at Kirby Comics, we believe that a book should be in as a pristine and near mint condition as possible. That is why we bag and board all of our new books before they hit the shelves, before they can get any type of damage, so that those collectors out there that do get these graded are almost guaranteed the highest condition that they can possibly get from a new book, as it's bagged and boarded at no extra cost. And we use only resealable bags, unheard of. I do not know any store that is using resealable bags, not charging extra, bagging and boarding all of their new books before they hit the shelf, not just for subscribers, for everyone. That is unheard of, in my opinion. And it's what makes us stand out from other stores. We have a great older series, Doctor Doom, Fantastic Four. We have Avengers Man-Thing one-shots. Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky, great series. Avengers by Jason Aaron. There's been some really good stories from this, especially the Phoenix and the Star Brand storyline. Excellent stories. Shang-Chi has had a number of issues. Iron Fist, this has been a surprise hit. I'm a big fan of Larry Hama. I grew up with Larry Hama's G.I. Joe, so I love his style. I didn't imagine this would be this good. This is definitely a sleeper hit, and we're definitely going to have a trade paperback when this comes out, because it was a great series. This is the kind of Iron Fist that I can get behind. We have other books like Invincible. This is an issue 1 reprint for those that are watching the new Amazon animated, which I hear is excellent and follows the comic storyline perfectly. So if anybody wants issue 1, this is a reprint at cover price, $3.99. We have Magic the Gathering comics, which is very popular. Rick and Morty comics. The great Joe Hill, son of Stephen King, legendary Stephen King. Lock and Key, Sandman Universe. Lock and Key, very popular now with Netflix. So this team up with Sandman, Neil Gaiman's Sandman, is a perfect fit. And this is a series, this is issue 1 of a series, I believe a 2-issue series. So perfect for people just jumping on board. Different variant covers. We do keep back issues of IDW, Lock and Key at cover price, which again, you don't see very often. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters is going on right now. Excellent art by Steve McNiven. Darth Vader, always very popular. Star Wars High Republic, both Marvel and IDW issues. Big sellers. So there's many, Strange Academy, great series, like Marvel's version of Harry Potter. So there's many ways that you can come into our store for the first time, pick out a character, or ask us for a recommendation and get started with a new comic book. I guarantee it'll be a perfect form of escapism. Let's go in the back. We've been working on this back room, and I'm very proud to say, in Mr. Kirby's honor, welcome to the King Kirby room. Always wanted to have a room to honor Mr. Kirby, not just his work, but everyone. Mr. Kirby, I believe, wouldn't want a store just about him. He would want it about the entire industry and storytelling, and what came before Kirby and what inspired Kirby, such as the pulps, which we will get into in the future. Comic books and related comic books have been around for a very long time now, and we can definitely talk about some of the things that inspired Kirby and who Kirby inspired. Which he laid the foundation for everything that we have today. Very grateful for everything that Mr. Kirby has done for us. A lot of these artists would not be around. We would not have this industry if it were not for Mr. Kirby. So, like I said, this room not only showcases his work, but others, and especially who I got to meet, I can call a friend, Mr. Jim Steranko. He is a friend of Kirby, and meeting him was the high point of my career here as owner of Kirby Comics, in that he was behind us 100%, and even gave us the huge compliment of saying that if Mr. Kirby were still alive, he would be here in person helping us spread the word. That was very uplifting, and I'm always very grateful of Mr. Steranko for that. Someday we hope to have Mr. Steranko here, as I'm a big fan of his, and he has lots of fans. And you can see he even gave us his regards on his cover of X-Men 50, which he created the X-Men logo that is still used today by Marvel. He informed me of that. I did not know that. There was a different logo which was Kirby inspired. But now we still use that logo. We'll go into the other artists that are some original art. Well, that is a signed print. We have original art in here. No Kirby's, unfortunately. We don't have those kind of pockets to afford original Kirby art. But we have many prints here. So we can enjoy works like Orion of the New Gods. We can enjoy the artistic expression of Mr. Kirby through his prints just as well. So we will definitely go into great detail about all of these artists, how important they are, and how Kirby inspired all of them. So it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to Kirby Comics. Thank you.